gasoline I smell?
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing fantastic as always, and it's me, Joe, as always. And today I want to talk about Miss Marvel, the new Marvel show that came out on Disney Plus, and I finished it last night, and with the last sixth episode, and I got some thoughts about the show. I actually really enjoyed it. It was actually a very enjoyable show. I think that everybody was fantastic. I think that Iman Vellani as Kamala Khan was absolutely fantastic. She was great. Like, she has great charisma. She's a great character. I think they did Kamala Khan in this show very well. And her family is also really great. Her dad, her mom, I think that everybody here is pretty great. Her friends, I think Bruno, Nakia, everybody is great. Like, I really enjoyed the characters. For example, I didn't enjoy Hawkeye that much. I thought that show was just a bit boring for me. But Miss Marvel, really good. I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this very much. Now, I can obviously talk about every single episode, but I won't, because I want to focus mostly on episode 6, which is obviously the episode that everybody will be talking about now, because it introduced something very exciting, essentially. Because at the end of the episode, Bruno tells Kamala that, he actually went over her genetics again, and he essentially found out that she is a mutant. I think he told her something like along those lines, like, you are, like, you have a mutation and stuff like that. She's essentially a mutant, okay? And then a bit of that 90s X-Men theme started playing, like, just a few seconds though. But wow, I mean, what a sloppy way to introduce mutants to the MCU. It just wasn't very well done, I think. Now, do I think that Miss Marvel, Kamala Khan, is an X-Men? I don't think so. I think that this is purely just to introduce the idea that mutants actually do exist in MCU, in the MCU. I think that's very clear. Although I get that it's a bit weird to also play that X-Men theme, which, would imply that she's an X-Men, but I don't think she's gonna be an X-Men in, like, a future X-Men Marvel movie. And I love X-Men, actually. I really do. I grew up on that 90s show. I really did enjoy the 2000s movies. I think they are great, except X-Men 3. And then the 2010s X-Men movies are also great. The First Class, and, then Apocalypse was absolutely bad. It was okay. What was bad was the Dark Phoenix movie. That was just pure trash, and I hate that movie so much. What an awful movie. But again, I am still excited to see Mutants, like X-Men movie, from Kevin Feige. But now I am a bit disappointed how they introduced mutants to the MCU, because this is actually the first moment where they actually said that someone is an actual mutant, and, they introduced the idea essentially of X-Men, right? And, I just don't know how to feel about the way, this was introduced. Like, it felt a bit lazy, It felt like they wanted to, people to talk about Miss Marvel, even though they, for example, don't like it. That's not me, okay? I really enjoyed this show. It was great. I enjoyed it, but, it just feels a bit sloppy that they just, where, like, okay, let's just, add this to the end so people will talk about Miss Marvel, But again, I enjoyed it. I think that this show was really good. I think it showed very well, the life of, Muslims in New Jersey, and it sort of it was a good representation. That's what I'm gonna say. It was a good representation, and everybody was just so likable, and it was great. But nobody is now gonna talk about this show at all. They're just gonna talk about the fact that this is the show that introduced mutants to the MCU, which was also, it was just so unexpected. Like I've heard that in the last episode something really interesting happens, and I was like, what's that gonna be? And then it was like, oh, the mutants are now introduced to the MCU. Okay, that's not a show that I would expect would introduce mutants, but okay. It's a bit weird. But then again, I don't know how, like in other way uh they would introduce mutants. It's just hard, to think about it. Like, how would you introduce mutants to the MCU? Because it's just really complicated, and I know 100% that in the future they will probably do a lot more introduction and stuff. But this was just really unexpected, and I felt like it was just sloppy. It wasn't very well done, because this show is good, and I feel like they just should have left it and take it to somewhere else to do introduce mutants in some other project. But overall, this was the biggest thing in Miss Marvel, and it is what it is. And at the end of the day, I'm not mad for them introducing mutants this way, because we'll probably get mutants even more introduced in the future. So I'm okay with it. But the show was great. If you if you don't like, for example, Miss Marvel, I would still recommend this, because it's very well done. Everybody is great in here, and it's just 6 episodes. Classic Disney Plus runtimes of 6 episodes, which like I've binged it in one day. So it's not so long, so it's not bad. And again, Iman Vellani did an amazing job as Miss Marvel. Matt Linz as Bruno, he reminded me a bit of like Peter Parker, and again, everybody was just great. Her mom, her dad, everybody was great. So I enjoyed this show, and the twist slash reveal was, I just feel like it was a bit sloppy. But let me know your thoughts down below about Miss Marvel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care as always, and bye.